As the NFL season continues to churn along, more and more fans begin to lose faith. They begin to lose hope in their football teams. And that's when they begin to look to the draft. They begin to celebrate Mock Draft Monday. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to get you acquainted, familiar with the upcoming draft class. So let's go ahead. Let's do that via a mock draft. Y'all already know the deal. This is the current draft order heading into Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football is currently going on. But New Orleans Saints, you are the first overall pick currently. And if you are indeed the first overall pick, you're taking a quarterback. Or maybe trading out. But likely, the wheels probably fell off of Tyler Shuck. His start today was meh. So let's go ahead and get a quarterback. I think I'm going to lean with the guy that I think has a bit more upside. By upside, I mean wheels. In Dante Moore out of Oregon. Really, it's kind of a toss-up who's quarterback one in this class. I think right now it's going to depend on your taste. It's going to depend on who's your cup of tea. For me, my cup of tea is Dante Moore. Tennessee Titans. You don't need a quarterback. We could go wide receiver right here. Or we could take the actual best non-quarterback prospect in this class. And that's Ruben Bain Jr. out of Miami. Listen, you can find wide receivers on day two. You certainly can. You can find offensive linemen on day two. Just take the best player. Just do it. And we're going to do it. New York Jets. I think Jets fans know Justin Fields is not the answer. He's not the solution. If you're picking this high, you probably want to take a swing on a quarterback. Aaron Glenn, he's going to be going into year two. He probably wants to get his guy before it's too late. So let's go ahead, get his guy, and that's going to be Indiana's Fernando Mendoza. Let's go. All right. Oh, man. All right. If you didn't know, if you are new to the channel, I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. Fins up, baby. Fins up. It's been a rough year. Hey, the best thing we've done all year is fire Chris Grier. I'm not going to be out here advocating for people to lose their jobs, but he hasn't done a great job at his job. So he got the can. He got shown the door. I think it was a mutual pardon, but I don't care. He can't haunt me anymore. I'll be haunted by a new GM. I don't think with two quarterbacks off the board, I don't think we go quarterback. We're stuck with Tua anyway for another year financially. Let's get maybe some help around Tua. That's tackle, that's wide receiver. I like some of the wide receivers in this class. I think there's three I'm willing to take inside the top 10. My current top guy, which you're going to find out later this week, well, it hasn't really changed since the summer, but it's Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. I'm curious what his medicals will come back as. He's been dealing with a hamstring injury. I know he had like an ACL tear or something back at Colorado. But just watch his tape. He screams, oh, this cat can be elite. We love the NFL draft, and now my draft guide is available for purchase. It comes with over 500 player backgrounds and close to 300 player evals. It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So when I add a new eval or I change my rankings, you're going to be the first to know. It's going to have all the pro day and combine numbers along with analytics. And it's a Google spreadsheet for right now. So you have to include your email with the purchase, but we will be switching over to a website at the end of the year. And if you get it now, it's going to be cheaper now than it will be later. It's a great way to support the channel. And as always, much appreciated, much obliged. Pick 5, New York Giants, and they can do a variety of different things with this pick. I lean on the side of let's get Jackson Dart some help. I don't care if that's on the offensive line or at wide receiver. I'm going to go with wide receiver. I want to find a complement to Malik Neighbors. Wandale, I believe, is a free agent this year. And to me, I think that would be Carnell Tate. I think he'd be the better fit, the better opposite to Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is insane after the catch target. It's kind of the same thing with Makai Lemon. Said, I want this polished route runner, this guy that can win underneath on the intermediate, and this year he's shown he could win down the field. Them Ohio State receivers are always nuts. So let's just get in on an Ohio State wide receiver because they normally work out. Normally. Don't quote me. Pick 6, Cleveland Browns. I think this pick should be quarterback. You have 2 first-round picks. Dylan Gabriel, I'm sorry, he's not it. He's probably going to be a good backup in the NFL. And then you don't know what you have in Shadur Sanders, but he was a 5th-round pick. You invested a 3rd and a 5th-round pick in quarterback last draft. Let's just go ahead with 2 first-round picks and use one of them to get a new quarterback. I'm going to go with Ty Simpson. And this is kind of weird to say, but this guy is probably ready to start tomorrow. For a guy who's in his first year of being a full-time starter, he's been that good and that convincing and in that kind of command of the offense. So let's do it, Ty Simpson. And then we'll get him some help with pick 2. Cleveland's 2nd pick. We got the Raiders. Man, part of me, do you just take the shot on Lenore Sellers? I think probably not. Pete Carroll, he's there to win now, and I know it doesn't look great this year, but I imagine there's going to be a lot of changes this offseason if they retain Pete Carroll and company. So instead, we're going to try to help Geno Smith. You could, I think wide receiver could be on the table, getting another pass catcher in there, or helping the offensive line, because the offensive line's kind of been a nightmare. My top tackle currently, if you haven't checked out my tackle rankings, it's on the channel. It's Francis Maui-Noah. He might not have ideal length, but he is a good enough athlete to play on an island in the NFL. Think Will Campbell from last season. I'm not saying he's on the level of Will Campbell. I think I'd probably have Will Campbell rated ahead of Maui-Noah, but Maui-Noah is just absolutely phenomenal. He's played really well for the Hurricanes this year. He is not at fault for our 2 losses this year. I'm just going to throw that out there. But yeah, man, he's going to come in and immediately be your right tackle. And then you can maybe move Glaze to guard because Parham's a free agent. Maybe you move freaking Jackson Powers Johnson back to center. What are we doing here? Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals. I don't think I've done this in like a month, maybe a month and a half for the Cardinals, but I think I'm going to ring the bell for this because it's been a weekly segment. This is going to be your Jeremiah Love landing spot this week. I try to experiment with different options each week that at least make some sort of sense. And for me, the Cardinals kind of make sense. This offense is so stagnant. You could blame it on the play calling, whatever. You need some sort of playmaker there. You could go get a right tackle, but you look at this class and it's like, man, the top tackles have short arms. So how about we grab a playmaker at running back, because James Conner's going to be coming off the injury. I haven't really seen much of Trey Benson because, well, he got hurt, got sent to IR. So let's just do it. Let's just send it. But before we get into pick 9, I have some news for all of you. And that news is if you download Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code Broshmo, they match that first deposit up to $1,000 dues. Best place to play weekly best ball, or you can do higher or lower on player stats. It's a fun way to play. It's not just football. You could do the NBA. You could do cricket. That's right. I said it. They got a variety of different sports on there. They have promos each and every day. Underdog is just a fun way to play. And if you want to get in on the action, again, it's download the app. It's Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code Broshmo. They'll match that first deposit up to $1,000 dues. But as always, play responsibly and play within your means. Pick 9, Cincinnati Bengals. And Caleb Downs is still on the board. I think Geno Stone might be a free agent this year. I'm not positive. And Jordan Battle gave up the game-winning touchdown against the Bears with a missed tackle. So yeah, Caleb Downs, he might have a little bit of a fall because of, well, he plays the safety position. And that's just not been a position that's been highly valued in the first round. We've seen guys like Kyle Hamilton, Brian Branch fall, even though they were like hella good prospects. Downs, we might see a similar fall. I don't think it gets out of hand. I think he goes in the first half of the first round. And in this case, he's going to the Bengals. And then we got the Baltimore Ravens. They need pass rush help. They need it. You could honestly make a case for corner because, well, they just traded away Jair Alexander. Sure, he didn't play for them much at all, but I think you can maybe make the case for corner. But I think pass rush. This team needs pass rush and it needs it bad. Only one pass rusher's come off the board. I'm going to go with David Bailey, who's been unstoppable this season. He's just been a freak of nature. I know the cameraman issue after the Arizona State loss. I'm waiting for more context around that. Doesn't look like the team punished him for it. I don't know exactly all that transpired outside of what we saw on camera. So I'm going to wait for more news on that. I'm not going to move him in my rankings. I'm going Bailey here at 10. Okay, this is the Los Angeles Rams pick via the Atlanta Falcons. And yeah, it'd be nice if there was a quarterback here you could take a shot on. You could maybe make the case for Lenore Sellers, have him sit behind Matthew Stafford. That's interesting. But Matthew Stafford is now slinging like 3 to 4 touchdowns every game. I think he's going to play for the next 3 to 4 years at this point. He's just been that good. So instead, let's go other avenues. I've often taken tackle and corner, but I want to look at maybe something else. Arvell Reese, a lot of people love. They think he's someone that could go in the top 10. Him playing linebacker, for me at least, makes that a little harder to believe, but also what he brings as a pass rusher makes his value a bit better. Nate Landman will be a free agent. I think he's only on like a 1-year deal there. They should re-sign him. He's been playing hella good football for him. But if they don't, maybe Reese could be an option for the Rams. Washington Commanders. Man, Mekhi Lemon here at 12, I think is great value. Debo, you never know when he's going to get hurt. Terry McLaurin re-aggravating the quad. Maybe grabbing some pass catchers just in case injury does hit, or having some long-term solutions isn't a bad idea. I think Peter Woods also makes a ton of sense here because I think they're gonna reshape the interior of that defensive line, or maybe reshape the defensive line in general. They could go edge rusher, and I think that would make sense as well. But Mekhi Lemon, 12 feels like really good value. Oh man, the Houston Texans. Listen, this pick is literally whoever the top offensive lineman or defensive interior player is on the board. Right now, Spencer Fondo would make sense. I'm going to go with Peter Woods because he's higher on my board. He is just an elite athlete at 6'3", 315. That scary defense just becomes more scarier. But yeah, I know people are like, we got to predict freaking CJ Stroud. And it's like, it doesn't mean you have to invest a first rounder in doing so. You could always do that via free agency. You could do that in other areas of the draft. Just saying. Dallas Cowboys, defense. This is defense all the way. I want to take a shot on Keldrick Falk. I'm going to talk about him later this week when I have my edge rankings come out, my mid-season edge rankings. And I'm starting to lean into, he might end up playing on the interior. He was listed in the spring, at least, around 270. He's now listed at 285. And if he just he's got a long frame. If he continues to fill that out, then it's like, okay, you're in an interior. And having this very versatile piece that, bare minimum, elite run defender, I think should make the Cowboys feel exceptionally happy. So we're gonna take a shot on the tools. Minnesota Vikings here at pick 15. Listen, I go corner all the time for the Vikings. It makes a lot of sense. Let's try something else. What are some other areas they can go? Let's open our mind, and just broaden our view, our horizons here. I'm going to go with Spencer Fano, the tackle out of Utah. I'm not saying you kick him into guard. It's not what I'm saying here, because they've invested in Donovan Jackson. They invested in Will Fries. I'm saying keep him at tackle. They could get off Brian O'Neill, who has been banged up this year. They could get off his contract this season if they want to. Again, I'm just exploring other options. I will not be exploring other options for the Panthers because they need pass rush. And I love Cassius Howe. He has been a phenomenal. He might not have ideal length, but you get the right coordinator that can use him in a versatile manner, then I think you have yourself a potentially special player. He's just so twitched up and he just gets after it. I think he has like 10 sacks on the season. He's just so stinking good. But you know what's also good? Becoming a bro and subscribe. That's right. Become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up. And as always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. By the way, if you didn't know, I know we're already halfway through this video, but what's crack-a-lackin'? I'm your boy, Broshmo. I'm the draft guy here in these YouTube parts. Let's get to pick 17. Kenyon Sadiq, I think, would be run the card in at tight end. I did that last week. Let's go elsewhere for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I want to go a little bit out of the box here. Jawan Taylor, I feel like they should probably get off of. It just feels like he's been a detriment at right tackle. You can make the case for Caden Proctor here, but I think he's only played on the left side. Trevor Gooseby, he has played both right and left tackle. He is a special athlete at that position. He checks a lot of boxes, and I think he's played really good football this year outside of a Florida game. This is his first full year as a starter, which fills me with a lot of promise of his ceiling. So we're going to take him here for the Chiefs. Let's protect Patrick Mahomes. Chicago Bears. So we don't have a corner off the board yet, I believe. We don't have a corner off the board. Corner's been a weird position for the Bears because they've been hurt. Stevenson's been hurt. You started the year with Jalen Johnson on IR with a core injury. I think Kyler Gordon just went to IR. So maybe grabbing some more cornerback help, especially if a guy that can be versatile, whether that's playing in the slot, at corner, shoot, maybe you even line him up at safety. And that's Mansour Delane. He did that all for Virginia Tech, but he comes to LSU and he just has that dog in him. He can play press. He can play outside. He can play in the slot. Dennis Allen is going to love a dude like this. So I'm going to go with Mansour Delane. All right, this is pick 2 for the Cleveland Browns. We took Ty Simpson. And let me tell you, I am just so compelled to take his teammate, Jeremy Bernard. But we're not going to do that. Because I often think I take the quarterback and then I get the wide receiver later. Based on how this board's gone and just knowing the amount of turnover that's going to happen on that offensive line in Cleveland, Caden Proctor sounds like the best bet. Whether he ends up being a tackler or a guard, the answer is yes, because Cleveland needs both of those things. So I'm going to take Caden Proctor. Pittsburgh Steelers on deck. Steelers fans are mad. They always want me to take a quarterback. Despite them knowing Aaron Rodgers might end up coming back. It looks like he's having a good time in Pittsburgh. He's winning. Just, I feel like with that atmosphere, he would want to return. And this this probably buys you another year at the quarterback position. Or maybe we get a guy that we can sit for a year. So yes, welcome back to the mock draft, Lenore Sellers, though I feel like I'm 75% sure that he's going to end up returning just based on how things have gone at South Carolina this year. They actually just fired their offensive coordinator. It's just they've had maybe the worst offense in the SEC, which is saying something because Kentucky's been pretty bad too. offensively. So, yeah, we'll include Sellers just for you Steelers fans. Get to sit him for a year. Detroit Lions pick a 21. And this one might intrigue you. Again, I'm trying to broaden the horizons on what can happen in these drafts. I want to explore all these possibilities. And with how many injuries they've had, specifically defensively, I think corner could be they could go corner again. I know they double dipped at corner just a little over a year ago. With Terry and Arnold, they got Rakestraw, though he hasn't really seen the field much at all. They got Amik Robertson, right? Regardless, he's having to play. He can play inside, outside, but he's a free agent. Maybe you kick Arnold into the slot, which I think he could do very well. You have DJ Reed on the outside, and then you take a shot on Jermon McCoy, who, if not for him coming off the ACL injury, would be a top 10 player in this class. At this point, the value is just too good, in my opinion. So I'm going to take him here. San Francisco 49ers. I always normally take offensive line for the Niners. I did defensive line last week. People lost their mind. So we're going to go back to it. We're going to take offensive line. I'm going to take Caleb Lomu. Tackle out of Utah. He checks a lot of boxes. I think if he decided to return to Utah for another year, he probably ends up a top 10, top 15 pick. But I think currently, especially given just the uncertainty with this tackle class, who's a guard, who's a tackle, and just him having the length, that might just push him up the board, push him into being a for sure first rounder. Chargers. I thought about making this the first guard to come off the board, but then again, with guys like Spencer Fano and Caden Proctor and Francis Maui-Noah, maybe the first guard already went off the board. So instead, I think I'm going to stick with the defensive side of the football. And again, this guy's getting so much hype. It's going to be Amari Washington out of Oregon. He's not a complete prospect by any means. This is his first year as an actual full-time starter. But in terms of his size and his explosiveness, it's insane. It's just an insane combination. He's just so disruptive. So a guy that can be like a penetrating nose tackle for this defense, that feels good to me. It does. Dallas Cowboys. This is via the Green Bay Packers. This is their second pick. I took Keldrick Folk with their first pick. I think with the second one, you got to go corner. I don't think Trevon Diggs is long for the roster. I'm a big fan of, if you've seen my corners video, you already know. He should be higher. I love Keith Abney. He has been a shutdown corner this past season in college football. He's been probably the best player on that team outside of Jordan Tyson. Yeah, there, I said it. He's been that good. Smooth athlete, good in man, but I think he's also got the chops in zone as well, and he's shown off some ball skills as well. Seattle Seahawks, they're currently playing. What's the score of that game? Let me check. I got it playing right here in the background. So it's commercial break right now. Seattle Seahawks are always an interesting team to pick for. Because I like the idea of maybe going with a corner. Wow, they're up 28-7. Golly, Washington. Rough year. Washington really came back to earth, huh? Oh, son of a gun. Regardless, I think, given that they've just scored 28 points in the first half, let's get them a wide receiver. That's such an insane thing to say. Oh, but it's not. It's not a terribly insane thing to say. Because if you think about it, Cooper Kupp will be a free agent. And actually, he's out for this game.
If you could find someone that could be like a complement to a JSN and a Torrey Horton. So maybe looking for someone that can attack all levels of the field, that can create after the catch, that has sure hands, a very polished route runner. And I do think that guy's in this class. I think there's a few guys that actually check that box. But I want to give a little shine on someone that doesn't get a lot of first round love. And that's going to be, where is it? Okay. Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama. I think he's a top 50 player. Is he going to be a first rounder? I mean, I think people are going to be wowed by like the combination of girth and speed of Chris Bell, or the frame and the ball skills of a Chris Brazzle, or the play strength, the strong hands of a Denzel Boston. They could get blinded by that, and you could see Jeremy Bernard, who is kind of a jack of all trades, but he doesn't have that one trait he could really hang his hat on and say, hey, I'm elite at this. He just does everything well, exceptionally well. So we're going to grab him. And I was like really thinking of someone who can maybe replace the role of Cooper Kupp. And I think Bernard would be that guy. Buffalo Bills. I like taking linebacker for him. It's always a good excuse to get a linebacker and another linebacker off the board when you get to the Buffalo Bills. But they also have David Edwards as a free agent if they want to go in on maybe the first guard in this class. Again, it depends on how people feel about the tackles. I love Vega Yawane out of Penn State. He's been phenomenal. He's probably been, him and Katron Allen probably been just the best parts of that team this year. But yeah, Bills are going to just get a big Samoan that likes to beat the crap out of people to play left guard. I like it. Los Angeles Rams. We took Arvell Reese with pick 1, an absolute dog. I want to get in on this corner class. That means I'm going to take Avion Terrell, who feels like a really good fit for Shula's defense there. Typically, they don't mind, undersized corners playing on the outside. I mean, a guy like Darius Williams has done very well there. So Terrell, I think he could stick on the outside. It's just going to really depend on who's the defensive-minded coach, right? He's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I think for like Shula, he would be. Denver Broncos. Listen, guys, Kenyon Sadiq's still on the board. We're going to grab him at tight end. Bo Nix is going to be like, hey, I remember I used to throw that guy. And we're going to call it a day. We're going to grab more pass catchers or playmakers for the offense. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I like taking edge. I think I'm gonna go ahead and grab a linebacker instead, though. Look for that heir apparent, or maybe that heir apparent for Levante David, or someone that could immediately plug in and play next to him right off the bat. Because I don't think they have that guy on the roster right now. So we're gonna take Sonny Styles out of Ohio State, former safety, moves like it. Been playing good football this season. New England Patriots. I would have loved Sonny Styles for the Patriots. I think this is going to be a defensive heavy draft. Mike Vrabel's like, yeah, we invested in helping Drake May last year. Let's draft defense because I'm a defensive guy. But I think he would have liked Sonny Styles. He's got some Ohio State ties, so I think he would have liked Styles. Instead, I think I'm going to take TJ Parker. He feels like a Mike Vrabel type of edge player who he just checks a lot of boxes, has a very, very high floor. It feels like Harold Landry. It really does. Landry, who's playing out of his mind this year, by the way, for the Patriots. Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, I took offensive line last week. I'm looking at that edge room, and I'm like, golly, they need some help. So much help that Brandon Graham came out of retirement, by the way. But I think Azeez Ojulari just hit the IR. Nolan Smith, I think they're still waiting to come off of the IR. So let's grab an edge player. I'm going to go with a guy who just had a scoop and score this week against Tennessee. Stiff-armed the tight end into oblivion. It was phenomenal. Our Mason Thomas, he might not have ideal size or length, but he is just so disgustingly fast. The closing speed is utterly insane. A very nice finesse pass rusher. And, you got to think, maybe this is what they were hoping they were going to get when they signed Bryce Huff a couple of years back. We're going to end this off with the Indianapolis Colts, fresh off loss number 2 today. Lost only by 7 despite 6 turnovers, but to be fair, Pittsburgh was in full control that whole game. You may look and be like, they only lost by a touchdown. It was never that close. Just saying. Better days lay ahead, though. Danny Dimes is playing great football, but I looked at the defense. Let Coach Lou build this defense. And I think what we're going to do is take a pass rusher opposite of Liatu Latu. I'm a huge fan. I don't know where he's at on the board here, of Joshua Joseph. The dude's got over an 82-inch wingspan. He is so stinking explosive. He is slowly putting together a solid toolbox of pass rush moves. He has been efficient. He's hovering around that 20% pass rush win rate. And you're going to pair him up with the guy who has one of the most complete pass rush toolboxes, I would argue, in the NFL, in Liatu Latu. Yeah, let's get guys that can get after it. All right, that'll be the mock draft, man. Y'all go ahead and let me know what you think in the comment section below. We got a few new names in there. We did a few new themes. Again, that's kind of my goal with each of these mocks, to do different things and look at different possibilities. Again, this isn't me predicting stuff. This is me looking for fits or needs where maybe you didn't think there were needs. Because again, when it comes to the draft, teams aren't looking necessarily for the immediate future. Sometimes, most of the time, they're looking maybe 2 years ahead. Then again, in the first round, you are kind of looking for the immediate future. But more so at the back end of the first round, you start to look, okay, well, we could get this guy and he actually will become the full-time starter in a year's time. Or we have a guy hitting free agency and we just don't want to pay him. So that's what I really like, the back end of the first round. See how I can play with things. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.